Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, we are here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So welcome back to Reality TV Podcast and Clips. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's get into it on 3, 2, 1. So welcome back to the deep dive, everybody. You know, we spend so much time looking at the shiny, perfectly edited final product of reality television, but today we really wanted to get into the actual fallout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to look at that really delicate line between, manufactured television drama and the very real-life consequences for the stars involved.
Yeah.
Because when those cameras stop rolling, the fallout is entirely real.
Right. I mean, imagine trying to close a $3 million real estate deal, but instead of worrying about, interest rates or inspections, your biggest threat is your own client.
Oh, yeah. A client who is literally trying to destroy your professional reputation just to secure, 20 seconds of premium screen time?
It's wild. You're looking at a landscape where professional reputations, marriages, and even fundamental safety are just put to the ultimate test.
Well, and it requires an entirely different survival skill set than what most of us use in our daily lives.
Totally. So let's unpack this by starting where the professional world completely collides with reality TV grievances, which is real estate.
Oh, real estate crossover chaos is the best example of this. I mean, selling multi-million-dollar homes is stressful enough.
Right.
But you had a camera crew and some reality star egos, and, the traditional rules of business just evaporate. Look at what is happening between Davina Patratz and Amanda Francis.
Oh my gosh, yes. Amanda recently went completely on the offensive. She claimed she fired Davina months before they even filmed together.
And her specific reasoning was just, wow. She basically said Davina only cared about getting a selfie in a rented Chanel outfit.
A rented Chanel outfit? I mean, the absolute shade of that.
Right, but notice the mechanics of that insult. It is not just petty. It is a highly specific, targeted strike designed to undermine Davina's professional credibility and her financial status in one breath.
Exactly. Like in a normal business environment, a client simply moves on to another agent.
Yeah, but what is fascinating here is how the mechanics of reality television are used as a weapon. The goal wasn't just to end the working relationship,
No, it was to use the narrative to elevate Amanda's status at Davina's expense. But, Davina actually understood the assignment and brought the receipts.
She really did.
She leaked this highly professional final text proving she didn't get fired at all. She actually gracefully bowed out because Amanda completely ghosted her on signing the listing agreement.
Only to magically pop back up when the cameras were ready to roll.
Right.
Which perfectly illustrates how reputation becomes currency. And this isn't an isolated incident either. Over on the Valley, Mercedes MJ Javid is dealing with her own celebrity client fallout.
Oh, with the actor Jamie Kennedy. That one is so messy.
It is. And again, the conflict is playing out entirely in the public square.
Yeah, so Jamie goes on a radio show and claims MJ left him completely hanging after he closed on a $3 million home.
Right, he's talking about lockbox issues, no mail forwarding.
He even claimed he had to deal with squatters while in escrow. Like, he painted a picture of absolute professional negligence.
Which, of course, MJ completely denies. She defends herself by pointing out that Jamie threw a temper tantrum, was entirely demeaning, and, basically mistreats the women in his life.
It's crazy. Selling real estate on reality TV is starting to look less like a property transaction and more like a hostile corporate takeover of someone's personal brand.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy.
Are these agents basically being set up to fail by clients who just want airtime?
It definitely seems that way.
Yeah.
If you look at the underlying mechanism here, what you are seeing is the weaponization of public platforms. In reality TV real estate, the property itself is completely secondary to the power dynamic.
So it's not even about the house.
Not at all. It is about who controls the narrative. The client realizes that the real value isn't the commission, it's the controversy.
Wow. Speaking of controlling the narrative and surviving hostile environments, let's look at someone who is quickly learning how power dynamics work the hard way.
Amanda Francis, right?
Yes. She isn't just making waves in real estate. Her behavior on the cast trip to Florence perfectly illustrates what happens when a newcomer tries to navigate an established hierarchy in Beverly Hills.
Oh, Florence was an absolute masterclass in psychological maneuvering. You have Amanda trying to logically resolve her conflict with Dorit using this very calm, measured, therapeutic approach.
Right. She wants to sit down, process the feelings, and reach a rational conclusion. But I have to ask you, when you try to use calm therapy speak in a room full of Beverly Hills veterans, Aren't you essentially bringing a water gun to a psychological warfare battle?
You absolutely are. She is operating under the assumption that logic and calm communication win the day. But Dorit completely short-circuits that approach.
Oh, completely. She doesn't engage with the conflict at hand at all.
No, instead, she brings up Amanda's past ties to a controlling youth pastor group.
A group that Amanda actually escaped and reported. I mean, it is such an aggressive pivot.
It is a classic deflection tactic, and it works brilliantly. When someone challenges you with logic, you dig into their past to destabilize them emotionally.
Right, you force them to defend their history instead of arguing the present issue.
Exactly. And once Amanda is destabilized, well, the established hierarchy steps in to enforce the boundaries.
Oh, yeah, because then you have Kathy Hilton literally stepping in to tell Amanda to read the room and know your place.
Brutal.
I mean, wow. And then Sutton Strack advises Amanda to stop using her 5-year-old voice. It is a completely coordinated dismantling of a newcomer.
Which provides a brilliant contrast, because look at how Sutton Strack is modeling unbothered behavior off camera.
Oh, with the Lisa Rinna book.
Yes. Lisa Rinna releases a new book where she completely body shames Sutton, calling her frumpy with a weird body. And how does Sutton respond to this very public attack?
With just a shrug and a who cares.
It is perfect. She denies Lisa the oxygen of a reaction. What is fascinating here is how power is actually wielded in Beverly Hills.
Let's break that down.
Well, Kathy uses her legacy social standing to demand compliance, right? Dorit uses deflection to keep her opponent off balance. Sutton uses apathy to neutralize an attack. And then we see power wielded through timing with Rachel Zoe.
Oh, Rachel's situation in Florence is just heartbreaking. Her ex-husband, Roger, chose the exact moment she was out of the country to tell their 11-year-old son about his new girlfriend.
Think about the mechanics of that choice. It is a blatant disregard for their family dynamic.
Seriously.
He knows she is thousands of miles away, completely unable to be there for her child in that moment. That is power wielded through timing and isolation to maintain absolute control over the family narrative.
It is incredibly calculating. So we see how the West Coast veterans operate with these very sharp psychological tools. But moving to the Southern crews, we see entirely different strategies for handling conflict.
Oh, completely different.
Yeah, we go from psychological warfare to sheer timeline manipulation and hiding secrets.
Let's look at the shifting sands of Southern charm. The sheer amount of hypocrisy and, well, timeline manipulation happening there is staggering.
Austin Kroll is a perfect example. He is publicly denying that his romance with Sally Carson is hot and heavy, even though they were literally making out in Mexico.
Which, of course, completely angered his ex, Audrey.
Right. But at the exact same time, Austin is aggressively calling out Craig Conover for hiding a secret kiss with Charlie Manley.
So Austin demands total transparency from Craig while maintaining complete ambiguity in his own life. It is a strategy of keeping the heat on someone else so no one looks at your own mess.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the group is celebrating the arrival of newcomer Whitner Slagsvold to replace JP, whom Austin casually dismissed as a runt.
It is a constant, exhausting shuffling of alliances based on who can hide their secrets the best.
But then right in the middle of all this standard issue, petty reality TV drama, you have Vanita Aspen taking profound control of her narrative in a way that just stops you in your tracks.
It really does. As the only Black cast member on the show, Vanita is carrying a burden that none of her castmates can comprehend.
Yeah.
And she has made a very conscious, heavy decision regarding her social media. She explicitly told her team not to delete the hateful, racist comments she receives.
She wants to force the public to witness exactly what she deals with on a daily basis. I mean, for you listening, just think about how quickly you delete a spam comment on your own page.
Oh, instantly.
Right. Now imagine leaving up real vitriol just so the world can't look away from the reality of your lived experience. It is an incredibly brave move.
It is a profound sociological statement. And just to be clear, we are neutrally looking at the content here, but it emphasizes how reality TV forces deeply serious social issues to share the exact same screen as trivial bar spats.
The contrast is jarring.
It really is. It requires an incredible amount of emotional agility from stars like Vanita. She is weaponizing transparency to highlight systemic bigotry while surrounded by castmates arguing over secret kisses.
I think we need to take a breath and recognize that tonal whiplash, honestly. Because moving over to the Southern hospitality crew, the word trivial doesn't even begin to cover their messy work-life boundaries.
Oh, the boundaries don't
I
exist.
still cannot get over Maddie. She got into a massive fallout with TJ, and to prove they were actually friends, she created a PowerPoint presentation.
A literal presentation to prove friendship.
It is like showing up to a frat party with a corporate quarterly earnings report. It completely misreads the emotional assignment of the room.
That is a brilliant way to put it.
Yeah.
It speaks to a desperate need for validation using entirely the wrong medium.
Right.
When you don't know how to navigate complex human emotions, you try to turn them into data. And we see that complete breakdown of communication everywhere with this crew. Like Mia ending her 2-year relationship with Troy because he absolutely wouldn't commit to a timeline to move.
Yes. And Leva Bonaparte stepping in as the boss, putting Joe in his place. She flat out told him he lost his chance at business equity because he took months off to follow Maddie on tour.
Which allowed Justin to step up and take his spot.
And Justin, predictably, is busy hitting on everyone in the cast. From Mia to Jordan to Meekles and even TJ.
The ultimate opportunist.
Okay, so all of this internal drama, whether it is heavy and sociological like Vanita's or completely absurd like Maddie's PowerPoint, inevitably leads to changes in who actually gets to stay on our screens.
Right, the casting shakeups right now are fascinating because networks seem to be running on this authenticity algorithm, if you will.
An authenticity algorithm. Tell me more about that.
Well, the ecosystem of reality TV casting is shifting. We are seeing a distinct change in what networks believe will keep viewers engaged. They are mathematically weighing the value of real-life history against manufactured drama.
Oh, that makes so much sense. Let's look at the confirmations for the Real Housewives of New Jersey as a case study for this. Teresa, Melissa, and Dolores are returning. Rachel and Jen are out, and there is a potential return for Kim D. But I have to challenge this logic for a second. By bringing both Teresa and Melissa back after last season's completely toxic stalemate, aren't networks just prioritizing guaranteed conflict over the actual mental health of the cast?
It is a totally fair challenge.
Yeah.
But you have to look at how that authenticity algorithm works in practice. The networks are realizing that audiences crave authentic history above all else.
Even if it's incredibly dark.
Yes. The bad blood between Teresa and Melissa isn't a storyline they brainstormed in a producer's office.
Yeah.
It is decades of deep-rooted family pain. That authenticity, however painful it is to watch, draws viewers in a way that new forced drama just doesn't.
So it is almost like agricultural crop rotation. Networks have to occasionally burn the field, fire the newer cast members like Rachel and Jen to let the authentic, deep-rooted drama regrow naturally.
That is a perfect way to look at it. You just cannot fake a timeline. And we see that over in the Summer House universe, too. Bachelor Nation's Joe Amabile and Serena Pitt were almost cast on the In the City spinoff.
Right.
And even they are weighing in on the authentic history of the core cast, with Joe predicting that Kyle Cook and Amanda Batula are going to be much happier apart now that they have split.
Because you, as a viewer, have watched Kyle and Amanda struggle for years. You have literally invested in that timeline. We are also seeing the demand for authentic history play out in the Ladies of London reboot. And the contrast there is jarring.
It really is. On one hand, you have Micah and Dara feuding over something so artificially petty, like a pink walkie-talkie slight.
A pink walkie-talkie, seriously.
Right. But then you have the real shock in the season, Missy opening up about her brother's tragic public murder.
And her co-star, Kimi, cruelly dismisses the conversation, saying it was getting too deep for a lunch outing.
It is a breathtaking lack of empathy. But it also perfectly illustrates the clash between old-school reality TV rules and the new demand for authenticity.
Because Kimi is still playing the game of superficial lunch drama.
Exactly. While Missy is dealing with profound real-world trauma, the algorithm heavily favors Missy's reality.
Speaking of real-world trauma, Caroline Stanbury, who we know from Dubai and Ladies of London, was stranded in LA due to flight cancellations recently.
And her perspective on being stranded was very telling.
Yeah.
She explicitly stated that she feels much safer in Dubai with her children than she does in the U.S., specifically citing recent American gun violence.
Which, again, we're just impartially sharing her perspective here, but it really pulls you out of the reality TV bubble and grounds you in the actual world these people are navigating. We demand so much of them for our entertainment, but they are dealing with massive life realities off camera.
They absolutely are.
Which brings us to our final topic.
Right.
Broken contracts. We just discussed the contract stars sign with networks, but what happens when their personal and financial contracts fall apart completely?
If we look at the sociology of this,
Yeah.
a contract is just a piece of paper built on foundational trust.
Right.
When you add the pressure of a broadcasting contract, that foundational trust often dissolves. We
Okay.
see this across the board, starting with the ultimate contract.
Marriage. The Love is Blind fallout is a perfect example of this.
Mhm.
Jordan and Amber are divorcing after just 4 months. Jordan claims Amber refuses to sign the papers and constantly compares him to her exes.
While Amber fires back, claiming he was always out with the boys and completely ignored her daughter.
It's a mess.
It is. A marriage certificate doesn't automatically create a partnership, especially when the foundation of that partnership was built for public consumption. And we see an even heavier version of this on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
That situation with Michaela and Jay's is heartbreaking. They are separating because Michaela's nervous system is completely maxed out, dealing with the severe trauma of childhood sexual abuse.
Yeah.
It is severely impacting their intimacy, and they just couldn't find a way through it together.
It is a stark reminder that the cameras capture real humans dealing with profound trauma that no marriage contract can magically fix. And then we have the breaking of literal financial contracts.
Oh, this one is wild. You have Rob Roush from The Traitors and Kelly Clarkson, yes, from American Idol decades ago, commiserating on a talk show over the fact that neither of them ever received their promised prize money or cars.
Decades later.
Yeah.
And the legal contract means absolutely nothing. So how do reality stars actually survive financially when the promised payouts don't materialize and the system fails them?
They pivot. Look at Mama June's daughter, Pumpkin. She just launched a $25.99 a month OnlyFans account to support herself as a single mom.
You bypass the network and go straight to the consumer.
Exactly. But you know what I find to be a fascinating irony in all of this?
What stands out to you?
You have people like Kelly Clarkson and Rob Roush who played the reality TV game perfectly. They put in the effort, they won the ultimate prize, but they got completely shortchanged by the system.
Right.
And then you have Kate Chastain on House of Villains. She literally tried to throw away a challenge, this messy, ridiculous telephone game, specifically to sabotage an alliance.
She puts in zero effort, actively tries to lose, and she accidentally wins Supervillain of the Week instead.
Yes. She treats the entire premise like a joke, completely brushes off Ashley's insult that she just worked on a rich boat one time on Below the Deck, and ends up with all the power in the house. Isn't that wild?
It's incredible.
The ones who care the most get burned, and the one who breaks the fourth wall of effort wins.
It perfectly ties all of this together. Whether it is a marriage certificate on Love is Blind, a prize money contract on a competition show, or an alliance on House of Villains, the paper means absolutely nothing if the people involved don't honor the unseen emotional contracts underneath.
Wow. Yeah.
Kate won because she understood that the real game isn't the challenge. It is the entertainment value of not caring.
That makes complete sense. We have covered an incredible range of human behavior today, from the petty squabbles over pink walkie-talkies to the profound realities of navigating trauma, public bigotry, and broken promises.
Really have.
It is a good reminder for you, listening at home, that behind every perfectly edited confessional, there is a real person navigating messy, completely unscripted consequences.
And that leaves us with a final provocative thought to mull over. We hold these reality stars to incredibly high standards of behavior on screen. We judge their parenting, their marriages, their business ethics.
Oh, constantly.
Yet we tune in specifically hoping they fail those very standards because their failure makes for incredible television. So are we, as the viewers, actually the ultimate supervillains holding the remote control?
Oh, man. That is definitely something to think about next time you queue up a new CN. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the reality behind the television, and we will catch you next time.